Hello guys, and welcome back to another Cafcast. Today we are taking another look at TerraTech as of recording, and as of release, because this is going to be a same-day release. There are 3 days remaining to back this Kickstarter campaign, and they still need your support. So please do help if you can. There's a link in the description to help them out, but today I'm going to demonstrate to you guys how to fly. Now, there's a few mechanics that you guys need to understand in order to be able to take off from the ground. There are a couple of different types of game types which do give you the wings, the rocket challenge, and the wing it mode in the checkpoint race. We're actually going to be using the wing it mode because that actually gives you more options. The rocket challenge does not give you these bad boys, which means that your flight time is limited. Now, the way that you actually fly is relatively straightforward. You make yourself a vehicle by adding wings. You have various different types of wings. You can use these small ones here, and we can actually try that if you guys want to see. So we'll put that there. We'll put a turbine on the left, put a turbine on the right, and then just put a tail on, I guess, just see if it'll fly. I mean, I literally have no idea if this will fly or not, but it's worth a go. And there you go. You can see already that there's far too much downward momentum on there. It's just flopping like that. So there are a couple of different mechanics that you guys need to learn about. There is the center of mass, the center of lift, and the center of thrust. 3 different types of things. If you ever played a game called Kerbal Space Program, which is another video that's on my channel, you'll recognize the system in which there are 3 things that it takes for a plane to actually be able to take off. So what we're going to do is we're going to just build a really basic kind of flyer that I have used in the past, that I was trying to work with last night, because I was trying to think what's the easiest way to demonstrate this to you guys. So I think I've managed to do it. Effectively, what you need to make sure that you do is, firstly, you need to be symmetrical on left and right. Obviously, if I do something like this and try to take off using this, as you can see, the vehicle has too much power on one side and is constantly going to be turning, so it just won't work. So you need to be symmetrical on the left and the right hand sides, and then it would be beneficial to be central on the front and the back, parallel to where the wings are. Now that might not make too much sense if I can actually speak for you guys properly, but I'll demonstrate for you. If we have a vehicle like this that has 3 turbines, let's say we have 3 turbines, we have that off there, and we decide, okay, we're going to whack some wings on. So we put a wing on the front one here, and then we put the other wing, because you have left wings and right wings. Coincidentally, if you take the other wing and you use the right click to turn it round to make it fit the right way, like something like, oh dear, it's not going to happen now because it's struggling to do it like this, that will not that will not take off. Even though it's more beneficial because you have these anchor points here that you can do things like this with. Unfortunately, I mean, I could try that, I guess, but I don't think that will fly. Let's just quickly give this a little go. Well, we'll do that in a minute, because I'm trying to demonstrate to you guys the weighting, which is the center of mass, I believe, is the correct one, and the center of lift, and those 2 working together. So we have a plane, we have 3 turbines on either side, so we are symmetrical on the left and the right, but we have a problem. The vehicle's wings are nearer the front of the plane, which means that when we try to actually take off, the vehicle is constantly pushing down and creating too much downforce. And if you take up, you see there the center of lift is at the front of the vehicle, and there's extra weight on the back. There's no weight on the front of the vehicle, and therefore it just does that little sort of weird flop thing that you just saw there. I'll demonstrate it again. So it tries to take off and then just sort of goes backwards and drops. So Symmetrical on the left and the right, and symmetrical on the back and the front. There are ways of countering this to allow for a more efficient kind of flight, but for this demonstration we're just going to be going with the real basics, just to get you guys in the air. If you're sitting there and you've tried the Steam demo and you're really struggling to get going, this is the video that you guys need to be watching. So we now have a more symmetrical thing. Now, I don't know what the weight of the cockpit is, the cosmonaut cab, is in relation to the other blocks, because they haven't released any weight information yet, Payload Studios that is. But this is, as far as I can get it, pretty much the most kind of symmetrical thing that you can build. Now let's see if we can actually take this off. There are other sort of like different tweaks and bits and pieces that you can do as well to sort of like counter little problems with sort of thrust and momentum and stuff. But there we go. So we're up in the air, and it's kind of, if we just hold off on the controls, you see how it's kind of like wants to head down like this. Now, as far as I'm aware, that's because the cockpit is a bit heavier, because otherwise this is a like completely symmetrical plane. And I'm having to constantly counter what's going on here. But we can do, it's pretty maneuverable as far as planes go. It's pretty good, but it's just a little bit on the cumbersome side. So I'll give you guys a quick demonstration of how to fly in a minute. We'll just try and flop down here. We hit the first checkpoint there, which we didn't mean to do. Gonna just reverse a little bit here. Whoa, 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 whoa. We actually haven't got enough power to reverse from there. Oh dear, right. So we're actually going to put on a rudder. I believe that's called a rudder. I'm pretty sure that's called a rudder. With the tail there, which means that effectively once you actually get up in the air, you have a better chance of flying. Now, this is a pretty good setup to start you guys off. You can obviously mess with this, modify this. There is another version that I've built which I really like, which I will demonstrate for you guys in minutes. But right now, what we need to do is just demonstrate how you actually take off. Now, W, A, S, and D will control you've got your left, and then the turbines spin in opposite directions to give you your left thrust. Right thrust, the actual thrusters themselves will alternate, and then the rudder obviously will change its direction. Forwards is forwards, backwards is backwards. Now, if we actually sit here and just hold down forwards, what's going to happen is, if I can actually avoid these bits and pieces, I'm looking forward to them releasing like a runway level. That's going to be really good. Now you'll see what's happening here is, as soon as I take off, the thrusters, I'm not quite sure if you can see it because it's quite hard to demonstrate on cue. But basically what's happening is, we'll see if we can go over here to give a little demo here. Okay, here we go. Right, so we're going to just quickly take off off of this ledge here. Right, okay, so we're up in the air. Now, if I just held W, what would happen is the turbines would just stop. What you actually need to do to be able to start flying is a couple of different things. So, your flight checklist is hold down W to gain speed until you kind of like hit a ledge or find yourself taking off. Now, there are a couple of things that you can do to kind of like make vehicles that mean that they will take off more like easily. Like, for example, I can come back to the start here. I can put on one of these hover pads on the very front, which means that there's naturally like this little bit of lift on my vehicle here, which means that the taking off thing is quite easy. But do you see there how the vehicle took off and I was holding W and it just kind of stops and lands gently, right? So that's perfectly normal. The reason for that is that as soon as you leave the ground, I found, oh, he's rhyming, is that basically your flight controls change. So as soon as you leave the ground, you have to let go of W and hold it again, and then that will allow you to start using the different controls, because W and S control your increase and decrease in height. Now we'll get back off the ground again, so we can go increase in height, decrease in height by using W and S, right? But on the ground, what happens is you use S, and that's brake. So you can't really... Effectively, what you can't do is you can't pull up before you leave the ground, because if you do that, I'll show you what happens. Okay, we're gonna pull up. Oh, no. We've actually just started going backwards on our thrusters there because we started doing it before we left the ground. That's the difficulty. I'm sure that they will tweak the controls as time goes by. There's a couple of ideas that I've kind of submitted to them about ways to sort this out, like different bits and pieces. But you might be asking yourselves, or might be asking me, Kath, but you're flying around and your turbines are actually engaged. You're moving. Now that's because once you're in the air, the way that you actually accelerate your plane is by holding down Shift. If you hold down Shift, then the turbines themselves will stay engaged, and you have the ability to soar majestically into the sky like this. I quite like this. It's a nice vehicle. You know, there are better ways of doing it, but just for demonstration purposes, this is pretty good. Now, you've seen before that natively or naturally, this vehicle has a little bit of a downward kind of tilt, so we can do things to tweak that. We can do something like we could add another block at the very end there to add just a little bit of weight on the back. So the angle's right, the weight is right, so now it's a little bit better, as you can see. It's a little bit more improved. We could do the same thing again if we wanted to. The vehicles, it's definitely getting a lot better. What we can actually do as well, if we wanted to make a little bit more weight on the back to make it a bit off balance, is put the rudder here on the very back, and then we're pretty much now, as you can see, we're pretty much exactly level. We're going to have to do a little bit of tweaking. Now, for example, if as you see now, well, that's pretty good. I think you guys will agree. There is, for anybody who's interested, head over to the Kickstarter campaign page, because there is actually a challenge for designing a kamikaze plane coming up in the next couple of days, which should be very, very interesting. Now, there are things that we can do on the fly to our vehicles to try to tweak them, to try to change them, to try to make them all more interesting. Now, this, for example, at the moment, if we're flying normally, it is just ever so slightly going downwards, as you guys can see there. Now, if we just sort of flick it up a little bit and try our best, I've been doing this like to sort of mess with the game and learn the sort of mechanics and stuff, because a lot of it, obviously, at the moment, apart from this page, is not really very informative. So, it's fine. These things will be coming out later on. So if we grab this hover jet and just chuck it away, throw it off of the plane, there it goes. Whee! Now what's happened is it's actually affected us in a way that I didn't expect. We're actually now heading, it looks like, oh no, no, I think it's pretty much the same. I think it is pretty much the same. We're gonna stop, we're gonna head back here, we're gonna put the reverse on and just land nicely. There we go, fantastic. And just come backwards a little bit. If we can turn around as well, that would be fantastic. Right, so if we do the same thing again, and in fact, if we got one of these instead of this block here, we put that on the back, what do you think will happen? Okay, guys, sorry about that. Having some strange little problem where the game is minimizing itself without letting me know why, so it stops the recording, but never mind. So what do you think is going to happen now that we've changed the rudder on the plane here? We've added another wing on the back. Do you think it's going to rise up more naturally, or do you think it's going to fall down more naturally? Let's try and find out. Let's see if we can take off. Okay, here we go. So we're just going to get a little bit of speed up. We're going to go off this ledge here, and we're going to hold down Shift. It's definitely become a bit more difficult to be able to fly, but we can do that. There we go. Okay, so we're up now. What do you guys think? That looks to me like it's wanting to go down more now. And the reason for that, which is quite a good demonstration point for the center of lift, is that the 3 points that I was talking to you about before, the center of thrust that we were talking about before is the sort of point in which the thrust happens. Now, as I said before, if we're symmetrical on the left and right, the center of thrust is directly down the middle of the plane, and therefore is no problem at all. The center of mass is the symmetry of the plane from the front to the back. Now, for example, here at the moment with the lift that we're building on these 4 wings and the tip on the back here, it actually wants a little bit more weight on the back to keep it going straight. But when you add another wing on the back of the vehicle, as you guys can see here, what it's doing is it's changing the center of lift. Now, the center of lift before, I'm not sure what the correlation is, or the maths, the seriously hardcore maths is behind these systems that we've got here. So we've got like these wings making more lift than these wings, and etc, etc. But you know, breaking it down into the real basics of it for you, this wing that we've got on the back here is now creating more lift here on this part of the plane. So we've got lift here, and lift here. This lift on the back here outweighs the amount of lift that we have on the front, and therefore the plane wants to decrease in altitude. Now, I will see if I can actually just get taken off for you guys, just so I can demonstrate it. But it seems like it's not even going to want to take off. So we'll have to just abandon ship, as it were. And what we can do is actually add a countermeasure to that to prove my point. Put a center of lift on the front, and therefore allow for a much smoother. As you guys can see, we'll just have to hit a little lip so we can get the guy in the air. Oh, we just can't quite do it. There we go. Oh, it's up. It is up in the air. There we go. Right, so now the plane is behaving almost as if... There's a little bit of a difference, and why that is I couldn't tell you. Maybe if I take this off. Whee, see you later. And that's changed it even more, and it messes with it a little bit more. And now you see it wants to go down more because we don't have enough stuff going on the back. Now, to demonstrate my point further, if I take off the one on the back here before I land... Oh, God. I'm trying to keep it in the air so I can demonstrate this to you guys, and it's not the easiest thing in the world. There we go. Take that off. Now the plane, naturally, I'm not holding any controls, wants to go higher, as you guys can see. Now, that's not actually that bad. It's quite good. If we put a block on the front, then it might be a little bit nicer, but it's always a good thing in normal flights, in normal planes and things like that, to have your plane want to go a little bit up. Not this much. This is a bit too much. So if we take off this bit here, bam! Oh no! I dropped the whole ship. No! Oh, that's the problem with trying to build yourself on the fly. It doesn't necessarily work every time. I'm trying to look out for. Yeah, it's gone. That's gone. That's game over. Okay. Well, I think that's a good enough demonstration for you guys about the system and how it all works. What I'm going to do now is demonstrate to you a type of vehicle that I built last time. Now, this is a bit more interesting. Rather than having the turbines connecting up on the vehicle itself to start off with, what I'm going to do is actually attach them. We don't need that wing, I mean this wing. Here we go. What I actually need to do is attach that and attach that. Oh, not too dangerously, hopefully. There we go, fantastic. And if we put the thrusters, now this is a bit weird, guys, so bear with me. On the underside of the wings, I found that I get some pretty good results. Now, I need to just make sure that one's in the right place. It's not the same. So we're going to just put them so like it has the sort of the ones in the center there, and we're going to just do all of them like that, so it's definitely symmetrical. Again, I don't know whether or not the game is complicated enough to have those pipes make a difference, but I don't want to risk it. So, you know, not over that. It's not worth it. So we're just going to go with this, like this. You see, like this. The final one that I'll do for you guys in a minute is actually an Airbus design, which is very, very cool. But now, what would happen now is we would ride on our on our thrusters, which we can still do. You know, that doesn't really matter. We can add a couple of hover bits on the front here to stop the plane from having too many problems with the height and stuff, but it just takes off so smoothly. Watch that again. Are you ready, guys? I'm not even going to start off with. I'm not going to hold anything apart from W. Oh, I'm going to fly. Oh, no, I've stopped. Okay, I'll use Shift this time to demonstrate to you guys. So I'm holding now Shift and W, letting go of W. Shift is taking over the control of the thrusters, and we are flying. Whoop! So there you go. It's nice and straightforward. It's a nice way of doing things. It actually needs a little bit because it's like really heavily on the back here. So what it actually needs is less thrust. So we'll take that off. We'll take that off, and then we'll see how that's still a bit Was that the wrong side? I think that might have been the wrong side. I think I need to take the ones off the front. Oh god, that's a bad move. Let's see if we can take this one off without too many problems. See you later. Okay, now the two are just like directly in the middle, and it's tailing. Yeah, it's tail spinning. It's a good plane though. I like doing designs like this. I think it's really interesting. You can add rockets and things. Yes, that is all possible. Now, what did I demonstrate to you guys before? Center of lift is currently equal and proportionate. The center of weight, we believe, is more on the back because the vehicle is trying to take off. So if we move that to the center and put these back on again, I hope this is all making sense to you guys. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, because it is a little bit of a more technical system for people to learn, but it's not impossible by any standards. It's actually relatively straightforward, to be honest with you. So there we go. So we've now got the tail rudder on the center of the vehicle instead, and we're going to see if we can take off without. There we go. Okay, so that is better now. It's not quite there yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to take off this rudder, and we're going to add it to the front instead. Oh god. Put it on the front. Can I just get it? There we go. Okay, it's on the front now. So we'll see if that makes any difference. It's better. It is better. I mean, it's all about the sort of the weight distribution, as I said before. The thing with the thrust now as well is the thrust has been changed. The thrust is now on the bottom of the plane, and therefore there is a natural kind of up push, because obviously the thrust is coming from underneath the plane, so it wants to fly upwards. So I'm having to constantly counter it. Taking out these thrusters isn't going to make too much of a difference because the thrust is still coming from the bottom of the plane. So what we actually need to do is add more weight to the plane at the front to counter this problem. So we'll do that quickly. What I'm going to do is I'm going to head back over here. Whoa, that was pretty good. That's pretty smart. Oh, it's so good. It's such good fun. Okay, I'll just stop that. There we go. And go back to the start. Perfect. Right, so we're going to change this ever so slightly. And if we put, rather than having that on the, what we're going to do is we're going to give it a bit more thrust on the back, a bit more lift on the back. We'll change that to the back as well, and let's see whether or not that allows for. There we go. That's a lot better now. It's still a little bit upwards. So let's change this again. And in fact, if we take that off, it's a lot better straight away. As you guys can see, that is a lot better. Put this in the middle. It's still a little bit on the high side, so we'll just put it on the front. That's not the front. That's the front. And we'll just spin around. And there you go. That is, once again, pretty much exactly how we want it. Now we can do other things if we want to, because having the turning point of the rudder on the front of the plane makes it a bit more difficult to fly. But that's not too much of a problem. What we can do is we can put that back to where we want it to be and add different things onto the front of the plane. Like, for example, we'll add some more of these bad boys. Well, we actually took the ones off, didn't we? So we've now got, if we just put these like this, where did that other one go? In there. Am I going to be able to grab that? Yeah, pixel perfect right there. There we go. So there we go, so we've got a bit more weight on the front now. So let's see if that makes enough of a difference. If not, we have actually got quite a lot of space in the vehicle itself, in the center there, which we can use. Now that is pretty naturally high, but it just needs a little bit more. I'm going to perfect this on camera for you guys, just so I think it's just a good demonstration to show you guys exactly how it all works. What we could do is we could put some extra weights on. Oh god, I didn't want to take that off. That was not good. Just put that back on. Fantastic. Okay, so if we just take a block like this and we put it down like that, so there's a little bit more weight on the front. Let's see what happens with it now. Is that too much weight? Is that going to be significantly heavier? Actually, that's pretty damn good. That is pretty damn good. It's countered the balance of the tail rudder, so we can do much nicer, much faster turns, he says, crashing the vehicle itself. But it feels like it's going to be a lot nicer. So we might actually add a couple of these. Ooh, not like that. Well, actually, I suppose we could do that, couldn't we? Let's try that. Let's see whether or not that is the best move. It's like little kind of like water skis almost. And it's going to be very easy to flip this, so we need to just be careful of that. But let's see if that just like takes off and is happier. Are you happier? Oh my god. Guys, we've done it. Look at this. I'm only holding shift. That is an absolutely perfect balance. 2 blocks on the front, 4 thrusters in the positions that I have demonstrated to you guys today, and the tail like it is. And this is literally, I'm just holding shift. It will go exactly where you point at. So, without further ado, I'll build the Airbus in just a minute, but let's just enjoy this for a sec. Here we go. Let's just get a little bit of height up, bringing it round, bringing it round, bringing it round. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll do the checkpoint challenge, because that'll be a hell of a lot of fun, and we'll just see how that goes. Don't forget, guys, this game is on Kickstarter. If you're enjoying watching this, then you need to think to yourself, hang on a second, I could be playing this game, and you need to go to Kickstarter. The link is in the description, and back this game, because it is incredible. Look at this. This is perfect. This is like the best plane I mean, this is literally the best plane I've ever built. I'm not even joking. It is so perfect. Okay, are you ready? Here we go. We're going to start the challenge. It's this way, going over here. La la la, la la, flying over this way. Nice turn and circle. Using my mouse, I think you guys can see the mouse cursor, or at least I hope you can, because I've been demonstrating things with it. I hope I'm not getting too close to the copyright infringement there on the old Pokelemons. Oh no, we missed it. Ah, okay. Let's try this one more time, because it is so much fun. We can actually just literally take off just being on our back. That's great. That is fantastic. Look at this. Oh man, right. Okay, we are here. We've got the right... Can we get the speed and stuff going? Yeah, we're up. Okay, here we go. We're going to bring it round. It feels like it perhaps is a little bit more cumbersome. One of the things that we might have been able to do is lower the amount of thrust that we have on the plane, and therefore decrease the amount of weight that needs to be on the front to counter it. But that's, again, that's some kind of crazy math that I'm not really familiar with. So we'll just go with kind of like countering what we do, and then it's like a sort of process of elimination, really, which I think is a better way of doing things. So we're going to do this a little bit higher this time. And here we go. Gonna go this way and turn and get this one over here. That's it. Perfect. Okay, where's the next one? It's over this way. Okay, gonna turn pretty harshly, just so we can manage to get this. Fantastic. Next one. Are we gonna be able to achieve this? Is this gonna be great? Oh god, it's a new record! It's a new record! Oh my god. We've beaten the CEO rank of the thing there. Top speed 111. We're doing a little backflip here to celebrate. Let's get some nice speed up. And the thing is, it wants to right itself as well. If it's in an awkward position, damn, I didn't mean to crash that. If it's in an awkward position, like I'll demonstrate what I just did there. We need to press B to rewrite it, turn it around a little bit, and just get the thrust going. Avoid that, and just get in the air. Just la 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 la. So I'll do that again. If I'm going nice and high, and the vehicle then decides that it's going backwards, what I can do is it just, because it's bottom heavy on the thrust, it wants to fly, guys. It wants to fly. What a fantastic thing that we've done here. This is absolutely amazing. I'm going to take a screenshot. There we go. For the inaugural thumbnail, if we don't use the concept one that we've been using so far. I could play this game forever, but I'm not going to, because this is more than enough to show you guys. Now, what I will do ever so quickly is I will try and save this design, because it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. I took a screenshot. Let's try. Let's do that again, but do it properly. Can we just put it there? There we go. It is beautiful. Taking a screenshot. Okay, guys, and I am back. So, I've built this inaugural Airbus design, as you guys can see here. Yeah, I like it. I like the design, but will it fly is the question. There are a couple of balancing weights on the underside that I will show you guys, because I've been tweaking it a little bit. The question is, do you think it will fly? We have 4 rudders to control in the air. We have 4 wings on either side, 8 in total, and a whopping 10 thrusters either side. 4, 8, 10. Sorry, there's 10 in total, is that? No, that is actually 4. So there's a total of 20 thrusters, which means, yes, it will get the hell going, which is very, very useful. And as you guys can see here, it is a perfect flyer once again. Bah. Bah. Okay, I will show you the weights that we have on the underside here. There are 4 of them. No, 3 of them. 3 of them spaced 2 back, which means that it will fly, and it also has enough thrust to actually just fly directly upwards like this. If you just put a bit of effort into it, and it will just go. It'll go, and it'll go, and it'll go. We're going to be able to also break the top speed record here by hitting 109 and rewrite ourselves. And we can just like line it back up again like this and just fly like this. It is really a truly fantastic machine. So the last time we got like a 23 on the thing, didn't we? I think it was about a 23. Do you think we can beat it? What do you guys think? Yes or no is the question. Place your bets now, because we're going to try and see what happens. This is just so much fun. I love this game so much. I hope you guys are enjoying it as well. It is just a well put together, well designed game. And once you tweak your machine, then it will do great things. I might even kamikaze this, put this in for the kamikaze challenge. What do you guys think? Is it a good flyer? Yes, is the answer. But can it defeat the challenge that's coming up next week? To find out, you guys will have to check out the Kickstarter campaign. Right, so we're off. Here we go. We are flying. We've got a larger wingspan, which means it might be a little bit easier to actually get through the checkpoints. Possibly. Here we go. We're going for this one. And the last one, just over here somewhere. Losing a bit of speed. Oh, we lost altitude. We lost altitude. Well, to be fair, we did do the other one twice as well. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll go for it twice. The amount of power this thing has got, though, is great. You're right, I could put some thrusters on this plane, but I'm not going to, because I think thrusters are just a little bit too cheaty, I think. I mean, you know, and the problem is as well, when you're flying with thrusters, one of the more difficult things that you have to deal with is the problem that the thrusters will fire constantly, and it will give you little sort of jaunts of excess energy whenever it wants to, because it's in like this weird the fly mode, and basically holding down shift means that your thrusters are constantly enabled. Now, one thing I do need to try and do is take off, and that is a little bit difficult when you're on a perfect balanced plane, because it doesn't have a natural kind of willingness to take off, so you have to kind of fly it a little bit differently, but that's fine. We are finally in the air, and we will just kind of like this and go for the next challenge. Here we go. Oh god, that was pretty close to the ground actually right there. Hi. No, we're gonna just touch the ground here just a little bit, and then take off again. This time just on this little lip here, so we can come at it from the correct angle, because it wasn't exactly fair to make it have to fly the other way. So we're going to come back around again. Whoa, nearly. Oh god. Okay, we did just touch the ground there again, but that's fine. I think the other plane is just a little bit more on the maneuverable side, so you might find that this one doesn't fare as well, but we will see. Okay, there's the first one. Hop, hop. There's the second one. Missed. It's a miss. Oh, I think it's fair to say that the other planes got us beat in terms of maneuverability, but this is still a good flyer. I think we'll leave that as a DNF. But anyway, Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope this video has been informational as well as instructional, I guess, for how to get your lift right, your mass right, and your thrust right. But until next time, thank you very much for watching, guys. Don't forget, as always, to subscribe to the Cafcast, to like the video if you enjoyed it, and for these very special TerraTech videos, you have 3 days at time of release, 3 days to release. So if you're watching this in Friday, which is today, Saturday, Sunday, or maybe even a little bit of time on Monday, then you still have time. You still have time to go and check out the Kickstarter campaign and back it, because that means that you will get yourselves some nice little rewards. There's some cool t-shirts and stuff, as well as getting the game itself. And I think it's £25, which is the backing that I've done, to be able to get beta access and to be able to get like build updates as they go, the same as with Carmageddon. So I will be covering this game if the campaign is successful, but if it's not, then we might not see the light of day for a long while, which will be a very, very big shame. So until next time, I've been Caf the Cafcast. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to back the campaign, and I'll see you all next time. Take care, guys. You've been watching the Cafcast. We hope you have enjoyed the show. Don't forget to check out all of our other videos. Oh, and be sure to subscribe to us if you like what you see. That way I'll know to make more, and that you really like me. So, you've been watching the Cafcast. We hope you have enjoyed the show. Don't forget to check out all of our other videos.